me just grab a bunch of these. The tractor supplement. Wait, I think I remember that from the first game. I'm gonna grab a bunch of this stuff before reading because there's a lot of files left around here. Yeah, wasn't there like a killer tractor in the first game that got possessed by whatever comes out of the dark place? Holy goodness. I thought I saw another interaction prompt around here. It's okay. There were stairs over here. Whoops. Oh, and there's something down here. I see, I see. I'm gonna need to take that cube over here. Don't know what that is. Or like what the dots signify. Okay. Research and records first. Director Investigation, compiled by Redacted, by order of William Kirkland. Official findings report regarding Redacted. Trench, maybe? Yeah, there we go. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, Redacted was launched into the Redacted of Director Zachariah Trench. A recent change in Redacted witnessed in Director Trench, including aggressive behavior? A recent change in behavior when Redacted with other staff has been observed. However, this investigation is aimed at interpreting this issue rather than proving it. Notable tension between Director Trench and Dr. Darling has been witnessed by numerous Bureau staff. Although both declined to meet for an interview on the matter, witness accounts suggest their arguments center around the Dimensional Research Wing and the entity kept inside. However, no evidence exists to confirm Director Trench's Redacted as anything more than interpersonal disagreements. This investigation has concluded that Director Trench's behavior is not indicative of any Redacted, and that his fitness to lead is not in question. Refer to file Redacted full report. So somebody raised a concern that something had happened to Trench, that he was compromised, and they found that they couldn't tell because the hiss was still pretty under the radar at that point. So they were like, he's fine, and dropped the matter. I wonder who would have tipped them off, though, because my first thought is Darling, but like through an anonymous channel, because he seems to be the only person so far that noted that something was going on with Trench. I don't remember if like Marshall said anything because we were only with her for such a short time. And everyone else seems to be very wary of Trench, like he's not very approachable. So I don't think they would have, like they might have noticed him becoming more aggressive, but they wouldn't have, I guess, had enough experience with him to tell when it was actually like a serious problem. I mean, in a way of like, you know, where he needs to be put under investigation for something strange happening rather than being like, oh, maybe he's just super stressed, or maybe he has a health problem. No one would think like there's something supernaturally wrong with him. Ethics investigation, filed by Patricia Lewis, Special Agent by order of William Kirkland. Official findings report regarding the Prime Candidate Program. Per authorization from Mr. Kirkland, Internal Investigation P-142-9 was launched into the legality of the Prime Candidate Program, Redacted, by the Federal Bureau of Control. Since all known subjects relevant to the investigation used executive privilege to decline interviews, very little first-hand information was gathered. However, anonymous sources and documentation declassified by Mr. Kirkland both paint an alarmingly clear picture of systematic redacted and redacted were brought into the oldest house. Oh no, redacted and redacted. Redacted people, candidates, were brought into the oldest house and placed under redacted examination and testing with the aim of appointing one as director upon maturity. Children? This program has produced no successful cases and only resulted in the traumatic redacted of preternaturally inclined redacted candidates. Not only is this in breach of the Ashe Act, but it flies in the face of basic human redacted. This investigation team unequivocally redacted the prime candidate program and recommends that it be ended immediately. So they renounced the program. Let's try and figure out what all these redacted spots are, because there's so many of them. The first one might be, I'm led to think it's conducted. It's hard to say sometimes because it feels like the words that they're redacting don't need to be, but I don't really know what the process of getting rid of words is normally in classified files. You would think it's something really important or very significant, but then sometimes it just feels like, why are we getting rid of this? Anonymous sources and documentation paint an alarmingly clear picture of systematic, I feel like maybe abuse and malpractice. Blank were brought into the oldest house and placed under blank examination and testing. Since they say appointing one as director upon maturity, that makes me think that they were bringing in children specifically, rather than using maturity as a word to mean maturity within paranatural abilities or something. But we didn't really hear anything about it when we went to the prime candidate program outside of talking to Jesse and Dylan. But now I'm thinking again, maybe they're talking about all the kids from Ordinary, because they marked Dylan as being especially special, but they did bring in the other kids that were there, like any survivors from Ordinary, and brought them in for questioning and testing. The Ashe Act is interesting too. Is that Northmore? I don't remember his full name, or if they even mentioned it yet. Underhill background. Compiled by Agent Lisa Keenum, by order of Kirkland. Official findings report regarding Dr. Raya Underhill. Dr. Raya Underhill is a professor at the University of Woodrow in the United Kingdom, where she teaches biology with a focus on botany. Dr. Underhill once worked with the Bureau as a parabotanist stationed in the research sector of the oldest house. She served with no incidents or demerits and is praised by those who formerly worked with her, including Dr. Darling. Dr. Underhill has no known connections to paracriminal organizations or any record of breaching her NDA since leaving the Bureau. Her civilian behavior has been ideal, with the exception of an ongoing personal relationship with Dr. Darling that appears to have begun during their time as co-workers in the research sector and revisited intermittently ever since. Depending on the duration of her work in the oldest house, it may be required to have both parties sign a relationship clearance form. This investigation has found no compelling reason to deny Dr. Darling's request to offer Dr. Underhill an interim position with the aim of finding a solution to the mold threshold issue. Refer to file 7-8-5286 for full report. Basically, they're just saying that she's clean. I like that they're investigating within the oldest house. I guess I figured that investigations would be for stuff outside of it, but so far a lot of it seems to be kind of like HR stuff, I guess, like making sure everything is going smoothly, no one is like doing any malpractices. Here they're like, you guys can't really have, not that they can't have a relationship, but that it needs to be cleared first. And it needs to be like discussed with, I don't know, HR. So I don't know, it's interesting. Tractor procedures. ID, Bureau Tractor, AI82-KE, acquisition date, April 21st, 2019, scene not acquired. Containment location not applicable. Item is not in Bureau custody, none known. A Frank Elk tractor, olive green, dried blood on the grill when last seen. Item is capable of vocalized responses, or growls, and unmanned locomotion, considered highly aggressive and dangerous. The item first came to the Bureau's attention after the death of William Burrow, owner of Burrow Farm outside of Trenton, Texas. Local authorities arrived on the scene after an employee found the mutilated body of Mr. Burrow beneath his tractor. Police arrived, but were immediately driven away by the tractor. Panic calls to federal authorities were intercepted by Bureau communications staff. A team was dispatched. Upon arrival, the agents pushed the item. It responded by growling like a bear. 3 agents were injured when they tried to detain the item, which escaped. Aerial searches for the item are ongoing. Speaking to Mrs. Burrow only revealed that she had a domestic altercation with Mr. Burrow earlier the night of the incident. Whether these events are connected is currently unknown. So it could be implying that maybe the tractor had some like emotional attachment to Mrs. Burrow, but it's hard to tell, so it's like a very thin connection. Tractor supplement. Note: miscommunication led to a local coroner examining the body of William Burrow. Burrow William, male, Caucasian. Case summary: 33-year-old man found dead on his property, per police report. Remains obtained for coroner's office also include blood, urine, bile, stomach contents, and bone fragments. Autopsy findings: blunt force injuries, head. A. Lacerations, left ear, cheek. Blunt force injuries, extremities. A. Dislocation of the right knee. B. Complete avulsion of the right upper extremity with associated fracture of the proximal right humerus. Extensive trauma, abdominal region. A. Complete avulsion of multiple organs, including stomach, heart, liver, pancreas, kidneys, and a portion of the large and small intestine, all missing from scene. Conclusion: it is my opinion that Mr. Burrow's death is not the result of a mechanical accident, as claimed by authorities. The removal of organs is consistent with animal attack. That's kind of scary if the tractor could remove his organs. For, to consume them? Cauldron Lake update. To Chief Investigator Dennis. It happened again. 3rd time this year. Something certainly has it out for our... Oh, that's... what is it called? The monitoring station. Something certainly has it out for our monitoring station. Could be raccoons. The locals certainly complain about them enough, but why the hell would raccoons keep going after a monitoring station? Doesn't add up. Anyway, I've got a bureau tech going to the site next week to take a look. Next on the list of recurring problems is the staff at the Lake House Research Station. How am I supposed to effectively keep an eye on Cauldron Lake if they won't let me see any data? Hell, I don't even know what they're researching out there. We need to petition them again to share their info with investigations agents. It's only a matter of time before this AWE hits again, and I want to be prepared. Anyway, if anyone at HQ asks why the Bright Falls report is a little thin this month, tell them it's because we couldn't take any readings. In the meantime, I might invest in some raccoon traps. Sincerely, Agent Estevez. Oh, was that her? I feel like I keep mistaking her name. I remember it ends with a Z, but I think I kept saying Ramirez or Rodriguez. It's been a while since I saw Alan Wake, so I completely forgot her last name. Oops. Okay, here we go again. So now that Alan Wake 2 is out, we know that it's not raccoons, it's the Cult of the Tree. I guess specifically the Koskela brothers who were going out and messing with the station. And the Lake House Research Station, I think they were researching how to harness the AWE. But I do remember, like, there was a lot of tension within the station because it was led by a married couple that started to have problems in their marriage, and that led to them, like, fighting with each other because, one wanted to use one method of researching and harnessing the power, the other wanted to use another method, and they both thought that their own methods were better than the others, and it just led to a bunch of problems. But I think at this point, they should still be fine. Like, the station or the research station shouldn't go dark for another couple of years. Resignation letter. Redacted, 2019. To whom it may concern, it is with great anger and regret that I tender my resignation as head of investigations for the Federal Bureau of Control. I do this in protest of the rampant disregard for my departments. Redacted. My staff cannot continue to work in these conditions. Previous requests and warnings have fallen on deaf ears, so I must now rely on my actions to speak louder than my words ever could. I blame the situation on our redacted, who has routinely ignored my request for assistance in reclaiming parts of the investigation sector lost to the redacted loose inside. I will never forget the screams of brave agents begging for us to open that firebreak. I will carry that shame for the rest of my days. The redacted has failed his agents. I shall never forgive him for that. Sincerely, William Kirkland. It's probably saying the director has failed his agents. So a lot of some things have gotten out. And this happened before the hiss. So I don't remember what the enemies are, but it sounds like they shouldn't be hiss related. Trench official warning. Kirkland. I am growing tired of your blatant attempts to lay your incompetence at my doorstep. I know you want this to be true, but you are head of investigations. This failure is your responsibility. What did you think would happen, holding a dangerous specimen in investigations? The containment sector exists for a reason. They are better trained and better equipped for this type of work. In fact, they have admirably taken on certain AWE monitoring responsibilities that your staff are no longer capable of. This happens more and more now. And don't think your petty internal investigations have gone past my notice. You are a worm. Everything I've done has been for the benefit of the Bureau. The Prime Candidate program only failed because of Darling. You are both failures, plotting against me. You are traitors, but the truth will emerge out of you. You are choosing to become my enemy, Kirkland. You don't want to be. Zachariah Trench, Director of the Federal Bureau of Control. So they had a dangerous specimen here. It turned on them, as it would, and caused the big attack in the investigation sector. And I think I know what the specimen is, but I'll, let it reveal itself. And then we can see here that Trench is already pretty far gone. I mean, this is probably right before Kirkland's resignation letter, so it would be, we don't know how long ago he resigned, but it's still within the same year, so probably a couple months back. It's October right now. Well, I can't really figure out the month from here. But anyway, we see, one, Trench is very paranoid. Two, there's that line, "You are a worm," that's one of the lines that the Hiss is saying, so this might be an indication of, like, he's getting really, really far gone. So honestly, I would guess that this happened within the last 2 months, because this redacted area at the top, blank of blank 2019, I think the second one is long enough to be either August or September, and right now it's October. I guess it could also be October, because I think we're at the very end of October in Control. But, within the last 2 to 3 months, and "You Are a Worm" could be an indication that Trench is, like, really, really, really starting to turn. Not only is he being super aggressive and super paranoid, but the Hiss is starting to speak through him. But he sends this to Kirkland, and Kirkland's like, "Screw you, I'm leaving," and then he gets out before the Hiss take over. Keystone inspection. "Mr. Kirkland, we stopped at Keystone on our way to the target AWE, like you asked. I'm sending my report directly to you to try and keep a lid on this Grumman Morales desertion issue. We didn't find any sign of them here. Given their records, it's possible that they've switched teams, like you suspected, but I don't think that's the case. An event definitely occurred here in Keystone, and I think Grumman and Morales got caught up in it. The entire population has vanished into thin air. Reminds me of the Ordinary case, but that was just the adults, if I'm remembering the file correctly. This is different. I think our guys are casualties, not traitors. If it wasn't AWE, it seems to be over. We walked through the whole town, and the only strange thing we noticed were markings on various buildings. 2 overlapping circles with a dot in the shared space. Could be unrelated. I'll show you the picture when I get back. In the meantime, you should send a team out here to cordon this place off, and maybe get the comms guys working on a cover story. Sincerely, Agent Keenum." Those overlapping circles, that's one of the symbols in the motel, isn't it? So, something related to another Remedy IP? I'd have to go back to the motel to double check to make sure I'm thinking of the correct symbol, but I'm pretty sure it is. It does sound like a tease for something, but I just don't know what right now. Staffing issue. "Mr. Dennis, so yes, there's been an increase in AWE cases, and yes, it would be a good idea to put together a special task force to examine exactly why that is. However, it seems that a tiny little detail has slipped through the cracks. We don't have the damn staff. If you expect us to detect, investigate, and process more AWE cases, you need to give us more people. It's simple math. Between the staff we lost in the Hartman thing, and the ones who left for other departments after Kirkland quit, we're barely managing to keep up with the workload. Hell, just filing the paperwork for all the altered items we left behind in the sector has been an ordeal. Another thing, and this is going to sound paradoxical, but we have an overcrowding situation. This lobby isn't meant to accommodate a whole sector's worth of staff. We put forward a motion to move investigations to a more suitable location months ago. It better not still be sitting on your desk. The people are getting restless, and, as Kirkland's interim replacement, it's your job to handle it. Best regards, Agent Grayson." Here Grayson is saying that they put forward a motion to move to a more suitable location months ago, and then it makes it sound like it happened after Dennis became interim head of investigations. So maybe Kirkland left more towards the beginning of the year. I don't know, I'm just trying to put things, just kind of try to get a general timeline. I just want to see if I can find that one letter talking about when they were looking for the motel, to see if these are the same guys. I don't I don't really remember it. It might not be related, but when they say Keystone, that makes me think of that letter. Oh no, it's not the same people at all. Whew, okay, that was a lot of reading. Okay, get through.
Now that gate should open.
I'll read it once we get this control point. Oh, there's the motel. Awesome. Wait, I think I see another.
I'm no detective, but something definitely happened here.
Blessed Organization. By Agent Tim Spaulding, by order of Remy Dennis, Chief Investigator. And this is the guy that takes over for Kirkland. Paracriminal Profile, the Blessed Organization, or Blessed. I never know how to read it sometimes when it's used for an actual organization or a group of people. It feels like Blessed makes more sense, but my mind just wants to go Blessed. Anyway, this group/individual has operated outside the Bureau's notice for decades, perhaps longer, displaying a level of skill and caution rarely seen in paracriminal groups. A review of past cases has found various mentions of their activity over the years. In 2016, a production company called Blessed Pictures was connected to an altered item case, as well as the death of an agent from exposure to illicit paranatural materials. In 1994, a Los Angeles-based public speaker named Chester Bless was involved in the illegal use of an altered item. What? Oh, that's the surfboard, isn't it? I have to look that up after I read the second one. In 1988, a business called Blessed Repair and Service was suspected of involvement with an object of power case, perhaps even creating it. None of these businesses or individuals have ever been located. However, their connection to the appearances of altered items and objects of power is too direct to be considered circumstantial. An arrest order has been issued for any persons believed to be involved with the Blessed Organization. Refer to file 739-922 for full report. I think it is a surfboard, right? Because didn't they say that the FBC went to go take it from him, but when they found the location where it was being held at, nothing was left behind except for the item, and then, the guy was gone, the house was cleared out. Specimen Escape Assessment. Official findings report regarding incident A49. The purpose of internal investigation X397 is to examine the containment failure of specimen SI1 that resulted in the deaths of redacted agents. An inspection report of the containment equipment 3 days earlier showed no faults. Investigators suspect human error to be the cause, yet no department has provided any evidence to support this. Technicians were able to recover the researchers' notes on the specimen from the internal network. On the redacted of redacted, the specimen began displaying a sharp increase in aggressive behavior. So I think those redacted bits beforehand is like the date. Cross-referencing that date with various logs found only 2 events inconsistent with this sector's daily routine. 1, the air filters were changed, and 2, an hour prior to the incident, a civilian named Alice Wake, entered the sector regarding an unrelated investigation. See interview 65F-124. Given their connection to the same AWE case, It is likely that Mrs. Wake's presence is relevant to the specimen's escape and to the incident, maybe? Investigation is ongoing. Refer to file 623-721 for full report.
Do we know each other? This feels familiar. I can't seem to... I've forgotten it. I'm sorry. My name is Alan Wake. Who are you? Who are you? Do I know you?
I'm your friend Tom. Tom Zane. There's nothing to worry about.
Tom. The poet. The diver. You look different.
That was just a role. A character. The protagonist I played in my old film. I'm a filmmaker. An auteur like yourself. We're working on this together, remember? An artistic collaboration. You need a drink. Keep this.
Endless darkness. Nothing holds still.
But we're very close now. You've been writing. You found a way to escape. It'll work this time.
Riding?
You found a way!
No. I don't... Wait. There's something. It's my double. He's out there. I've seen it.
Yeah. Nothing to worry about. I'm dealing with it. It's fine, my friend. Let me handle him.
You've met him? What the hell?
Now, come on. You misunderstand me.
That was Alan Wake, the writer who went missing in that AWE case I read about. What's he doing here? And Thomas Zane was with him. The poet. No, wait. He was a filmmaker. I always remember that wrong.
So my initial thought when Alan started talking, I just heard something. Oh my god, it's so quiet. But anyway, when Alan started talking, he was like, "Who are you? Have I met you before? It's hard to remember." I wonder if that was kind of referencing this whole spiral thing where he keeps looping through scenarios. Like maybe he's written this part with Jesse before. He just can't remember it because every time the loop starts over, he forgets again. Gosh, there's so many other things I was thinking during while the whole scene was playing out, but I forget them now because just everything is happening so fast. And I'm also really nervous that the motel is very dark. Okay, so this one's ours. Always across from the right side up pyramid. I wonder if there's any connection there. Like what they're specifically across from. I can't tell though. This is it. This is the one that they were talking about. That AWE, potential AWE report. It's across from the doors. So that would make me think it's Quantum Break related. So I guess I'll just have to try and remember those names for when I look up some of the other stuff to watch, like Quantum Break and Fire Break. I would like the music back. I don't like that.
Dr. Emil Hartman, devoured by hungry darkness, became the thing that had been Hartman. Broke loose, killed everyone it could, lurking, roaming, waiting. Then something else came, a resonance. The thing that had been Hartman went through another change.
Okay, let's do this before getting out of here.
Dr. Emil Hartman was desperate. The Federal Bureau of Control had stolen his life's work. This was his last chance, his final experiment. What he'd been too scared to do before. Hartman dove into the lake, was taken, devoured by hungry darkness, became the thing that had been Hartman. Only an echo of him remained, fragmented impulses on autoplay, violent, bloodthirsty darkness in the driver's seat. Emerging from the lake, the thing was captured by the FBC, brought in, contained, studied. The thing broke loose, killed everyone it could. The FBC fell back and sealed the sector. The thing was alone in the dark, lurking, roaming, waiting. Then something else came. Not darkness, but similar enough. A sound. A resonance. It shouldn't be a surprise. If there's one, why not another? The darkness inside the thing could have been immune, could have resisted, fought, could have been passed by, passed through with no effect. But it didn't, and it wasn't. Maybe it had grown weaker over time, not aged. It was timeless, but weaker with no link to its source. A metamorphosis followed. The thing that had been Hartman went through another change.
That was what the enemies in Alan Wake are called. They're the Taken. I forgot about that. And whenever you get suffused with darkness, I guess, you become Taken. And then now we know that Emil Hartman was that thing that was Emil Hartman is the reason that there was an attack in the investigation sector and why they had to close it off and seal the fire break. And Emil Hartman was the like therapist guy who was trying to use he ran like a therapy retreat for artists who were suffering through burnout. And, he fronted it as this, like, good, helpful thing, but in actuality, he was using their talents, or attempting to use their talents, to harness the power of Cauldron Lake. And he wanted to do it with Alan as well. And what I remember, Alice had heard about him, and she, like, secretly set up appointments for him and Alan behind Alan's back, and that was like part of why they got into the big argument the night that she fell into the lake. Then at some point you like end up in Hartman's therapy house spot, and you have to like evade him, evade the Taken that come in there, I think. And I guess, you know, what happens is afterwards he jumps into the lake and becomes something else. Whoa. What's that Astral Spike doing here? Oh, cool. Oh, so I do have to go all the way across then. Oh, I see. The door is like completely... I guess they blew it up? Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna wait for this thing to go over a little bit more so I don't like land on it. I see blood over there. Oh. That's really unfortunate.
Creepy, damp, and abandoned. Why did Wake want me to come here?
Because he's trying to lead you to get him out. I'm interested to learn more about Thomas Zane, presumably in the next Alan Wake game. Because we saw there that he uses the same model as Alan. But, what's going on there? What is happening? And in Alan Wake 2, what is going on? I'm gonna go to the bathroom. In Alan Wake 2, he's also got Alan's, like the actor they used for him, I believe, was Alan's same actor. So there's something funky going on there. He's also like manipulating Alan.
That doesn't look like a house shift. Do I even want to know?
Maybe not. But he's also manipulating Alan into writing when he keeps wanting to stop writing. So I think he's working with Mr. Scratch. But don't know to what end. But I believe he's also still stuck in Cauldron Lake. Like he's not able to get out. So I think that's kind of the big thing, is he wants out and he believes that Alan can help him. Filing and processing. Oh, it's like, why does it sound like there's something behind me? Oh, hi. Oh, hi.
already in here.
Confiscated motive. Oh, I should see if I can get the last upgrade. Oh, mods upgrade, that's what they're called. There we go, there's Surge. Need another confiscated motive. Surge fires adhesive munitions that detonate when manually triggered or if their timer expires. Ah, I don't have a shifting fragment. And I don't know where to get it from. What's this? Oh, it's just a light? Maybe that's where this comes into play, because there was a tooltip that was like, in dark areas bring light sources with you, and I tried it once, but nothing... Can't get through here. But what I was saying was nothing was like coming with me. I tried to pick up a light and the actual light source wasn't connected to it. But maybe this is more where that is a thing. Hartman arrest. Official arrest report, case 74 WA04. Offender names, Hartman Emil. Victim names, Wick Allen, Anderson Tor, Anderson Odin. Those are the old gods of Asgard, the Anderson brothers. Redacted, Lane Rudolph, Soul Wendy, Emerson Thomas. Redacted. And I think those are other people that were at his therapy center. Officer names, Dennis, Special Agent Remy. Charges, Code 4, kidnapping of altered individuals, 1 count. Code 8, sanctions against altered organizations, 1 count. Code 37, obstruction of Bureau investigation, 1 count. Code 74, breaching the Ash Act, 6 counts. Additional notes. Offender's property seized as evidence to be used in conjunction with an ongoing AW investigation. Offender's personal effects have been sent to research for analysis. After being cleared by Bureau researchers, all victims have been released. Biannual surveillance orders were assigned to each except the Anderson brothers due to their senility. And Wake, possibly deceased. Breaching the Ash Act. So maybe the Ash Act has to do with trying to use para-utilitarians to your own ends? I'm not sure. I think it's something with trying to use people in some way for their paranatural abilities, because this came up with the Prime Candidate program as well. I think Northmore Ash, we know he was like a very strong para-utilitarian, and he's in the sarcophagus chamber thing. So it has to do with using people's powers and trying to abuse them, I guess. And we know Emil was trying to use these people for how they could affect the lake, or the power from the lake.
Whoa. Looks like the house has gotten a little wild in here.
What gossip? Oh, I guess I have to go that way, because I can't make it. I can't, like, climb through here? Yeah, I see. Okay. Foot gossip. Hello. My feet gossip at night, and now I have to wear shoes to bed. Sincerely, me. Thank you, me. That was very informative.